Beware of the trap of problem-solution thinking. As professionals, we are charged with solving problems and usually have our own preferred solution to most transport challenges. But transport challenges are complex and dynamic and usually don't have any straightforward, agreed solutions. So beware the trap of problem-solution thinking. This results from jumping to the solution immediately a problem is raised, and then, unfortunately, vigorously defending the solution and not leaving open the opportunity to consider other viable options. For example, there may be an increase in the number and severity of crashes on a particular section of motorway. Key takers will promote their preferred solution, such as more speed cameras or reduced speed limits, which may be alternative options to solve the problem, but not necessarily the best or even the most feasible solution in the specific context. Take another example. Traffic congestion has been experienced by commuters, resulting in gridlock for extended periods each day at key locations, and key stakeholders again are suggesting the government needs to build a new light rail line, or reduce fares for public transport, or introduce congestion charging. Again, all potential solution options, but which is the most readily achievable and value for money? So there are a number of steps to avoid problem-solution thinking. We'll give you 3 here. Firstly, define the problem. So the first task is to determine if the problem exists. Maybe instead of using the word problem, we use the word situation or challenge or opportunity. The more positive your language is, the more confident and optimistic you will be when approaching any difficulty. Sometimes when you think it through, you may come to the conclusion that there really isn't a problem, just a misunderstanding. If that is the case, fine. If not, and you determine that there is indeed a problem, you need to identify exactly what it is. What is the source or root cause? Once you've determined the problem, analyze it by looking at it from a number of different perspectives. Is it solvable? Is it real or perceived? And then make the problem explicit. What exactly is the challenge you are facing? Disconnect the problem from potential solutions and clearly define the issue in specific detail, describing the cause and effect. Sometimes by looking at a problem from many angles, you can come up with a solution right away, but it may also reveal a bias or a narrow point of view that needs to be broadened. The next step is to identify the problem statement or develop the problem statement. Firstly, identify key stakeholder views. That is, what each stakeholder wants to achieve, and you should particularly engage with those able to contribute to the solution. Others may have strong views, and if they have influence, it would be smart to at least hear their views. For a specific issue, there often will be conflicting objectives. By going through the process of detailing each stakeholder's views, you have a much better chance of understanding the complexity of the problem and identifying opportunities to find complementary parts to a solution. Then prepare a well-defined problem statement. This includes the following 4 elements. Firstly, the current or emerging undesired situation, challenge, or opportunity. Secondly, the desired future situation. It's important to clearly identify the ideal outcome from solving the problem. Thirdly, the gap between the undesired and desired. Otherwise, there is no problem. And then what is the downside in getting to the solution, which is the reason that the problem really hasn't been solved easily already. These can be referred to as barriers or obstacles, the downsides. And a common mistake is that the downside is not made explicit. So let's illustrate. Traffic congestion affecting freight delivery schedules is the current undesired situation. And reliable travel times for the freight deliveries is the desired future situation. So the difference is the gap. A solution could be providing priority for road freight transport, such as freight priority lanes or freight lanes and freight parking spots, and make effective use of limited road space for the high-value moving goods segment. However, the downside is that car users would lose out. So the third part is identifying the solution. So firstly, identifying potential solutions. Only after the problem has been explicitly defined, a possible solution to the problem can be developed and evaluated using agreed criteria. Problems can be solved in many ways. Brainstorm a list of several possible solutions. Having several viable options leads to obtaining the best results. Well-defined problem statement, which focuses thinking on the problem rather than the preferred solution and engages key stakeholders, has the potential for reaching a much better solution. Then decide which solution fits the problem best. Go over your list of possible solutions, noting that different situations call for different solutions, because quite often what works in one situation may not work in a similar one. Take time to determine what will work best for the problem at hand. And one solution usually doesn't fit all. Every problem has a solution, even if it is to accept the situation as it is and do nothing and move on. So transport challenges are complex and dynamic and usually don't have simple agreed solutions. Beware the trap of problem solution thinking, jumping to the solution. 3 steps to avoid problem solution thinking is 1, define the problem, 2, prepare a problem statement, and 3, decide on the solution. Thanks for watching. Check us out at transportfutures.institute.